Hello viewers. In Nigeria, maritime transport plays a vital role as a veritable tool of economic growth. This is simply because it facilitates the most important component of the value chain of Nigeria's export and import of all resources. This is NIMASA this week. My name is Moyioluwa Olutayo. I hope you are super excited to go on this voyage with me today. Stay tuned.
I am Captain Sondo Moren.
My name is Emmanuel Maigua.
I am Dr. Odunayo Ani.
Hello everyone, my name is Vivian Chimezie.
Western Nigeria President.
CEO of BRICS Master Matani and President of MANO.
And I'm the Director General at the Nigerian Chamber of Shipping.
You're watching NIMASA this week.
You're watching NIMASA this week.
The voice of the maritime.
The voice of the maritime industry.
Keep watching.
Keep watching NIMASA this week.
Keep watching us.
NIMASA this week. The voice of maritime, showing on these stations.
The Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy, as part of its efforts to restructure, transform and improve efficiency within the nation's ports, has expressed its commitment to partnering with the Infrastructure Concession Regulatory Commission, ICRC. This collaboration aims to identify global best practices and appropriate public-private partnership models for the rehabilitation, modernization, and concession of Nigerian ports. The Honorable Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Adegboyega Oyetola CON, who stated this when he received the Director General of the Infrastructure Concession Regulatory Commission and the ICRC management team, noted that previously devised public-private partnership models often encounter avoidable bottlenecks due to the private sector's over-reliance on government funding.
Most of the ports you mentioned are supposed to be ongoing, have been installed majorly by core investors. Sometimes they come up with a business case that looks very robust. When it comes to implementation, they don't have the funds. So the government is not supposed to put so much money into it, otherwise it's no longer PPP. So most of these ports mentioned have been installed because the core investors are not there. And still we have to write to some of them. We wrote to Badagry, the promoters came for a meeting. And it was obvious that the fund was not there. So that is the major constraint that happens to the PPP thing.
Earlier, the Director General of the Infrastructure Concession Regulatory Commission, Dr. Jobson Oseljon Ewalefo, stated that for Nigeria to fully maximize the potential of the marine sector, private sector funding is essential, as the government must adopt a public-private partnership approach.
The ministry is one of the pioneer ministries where PPP has been tested, wherein private sector funding was brought into Nigeria by the concession of the 26 port terminal. Possibility in your ministry to create that sweet experience of renewal in Nigeria, and then also to see how we can get FDI into this country. Nigeria is blessed. We are a country whereby we have all it takes in the marine sector to be a big player in the West African coastal line and also in Africa.
The 82nd session of the MEPC committee meeting at the International Maritime Organization IMO took place last week in London, and the Director General of NIMASA, Dr. Dayo Mobiriola, did not just attend the session, he also met with the Secretary General of the IMO and CEOs of the leading maritime industry stakeholders such as BIMCO, ICS, Intertanko, and Intercargo, amongst others. Here's the report.
The Director General of NIMASA, Dr. Dayo Mobiriola, attended the 82nd session of the Marine Environment Protection Committee meeting at the IMO headquarters. During this visit, He also had a private meeting with the IMO Secretary General, Arsenio Dominguez. During the session, Dr. Moberiola assured the IMO Secretary General of Nigeria's commitment to the development of its maritime industry in accordance with globally accepted standards.
In trying to secure the maritime space in terms of safety and security, and we can boast fully well that we have done well with zero piracy in the last 3 years, and to also confirm our commitment to the fact that we would ensure that it stays like that. Sustainability is the key word for us.
In his response, Dominguez commended Nigeria for its support of the global maritime community, particularly for enhancing security in the Gulf of Guinea amidst the security challenges in the Red Sea.
When it comes to security, I want to appreciate the efforts and the progress that has been made. We work very closely with your administration in relation to enhancing security in the Gulf of Guinea, and you play a key and pivotal role. And I will continue to request for your support so it remains the same way as it is right now. There were concerns, and I expressed those concerns, particularly at the beginning of the year, when due to the situation in the Red Sea, there was an increase of traffic around the Gulf of Good Hope.
Yes.
And of course, incidentally in the Gulf of Guinea. But the situation has remained secure, and I will continue to appreciate your assistance for that.
We've had a series of meetings this morning with many of your technical staffs, and one of the other things that came to our notice is our IMSA audit, which was done in 2016, and the good part of it is that we are working assiduously to close all the gaps, and before the next audit comes in, and you can be rest assured that we would try our best to ensure that we do that.
The NIMASA Director General and his delegation also met with the technical team of the IMO, who engaged Dr. Moberiola on how Nigeria can better position itself before the next IMO audit cycle. Dr. Moberiola, accompanied by Nigeria's alternate permanent representative to the IMO, participated in an open and candid session with the team.
Significant progress to address the issues that were highlighted in the audit. Albeit there was a transition in terms of one government to the other, but the benefit to that is that this new government now have the creation of a ministry, which is the Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy. Yes, which we belong to, which the MASA belongs on, and of course the APR. In fact, I would want to say that the minister has constituted a committee to start approaching, addressing all of these issues that are still outstanding.
Is happening out there in the States, what is the situation, and now we are within this division for which also does technical cooperation to transfer what we have learned.
We start from the high performances of, and we can classify it as high, of Nigeria in responding to the scheme in the first audit cycle. So Nigeria was one of the first member states to be audited since 2016, since the beginning of the scheme in its mandatory phase. And Nigeria demonstrated in the 3 years period for the follow-up audit, further to the audit, its commitment by responding to providing comments on the progress of the implementation of the agreed corrective action plan. So this is one of the countries that was reactive, and cooperation was continued between between the audit team members, MSA, IMO Secretariat, and your maritime administrations.
The Nigerian delegation engaged with key stakeholders in the global maritime industry. Russell Pegg from OCIMF led a group that included Ms. Karen Davey, the CEO of OCIMF, Guy Platten, the Secretary General of the International Chamber of Shipping, Mr. David Loosley, Secretary General of BIMCO, Tim Wilkins, Deputy Managing Director of Intertanko, Jacob Larson, the Maritime Security Advisor for BIMCO, and Joe Zhu, Maritime Security Advisor for Intercargo, in a meeting with the NIMASA Director General.
And that's a very clear message, because to get the continued political support, the funding, the buy-in across the region, you need to see a bit of that quid pro quo. So yeah, understood.
I think you will find that ship owners totally agree that the insurance premium should be reduced as much as possible. I mean, it's only in our interest as well. But the way the Joint War Committee work and the way they operate with the areas is that you don't automatically pay an increased premium if you enter a listed area. It's just an obligation from the ship owner to report to their insurers that they are now entering the area.
Weekly report is always there. The third point is about the collaboration. I think from that point, we support, because safety security is the foundation. Transport work is our purpose. So the purpose is to deliver our support cooperation to the local economy.
Dr. Muberiola tabled the issue of the war risk insurance premium paid by vessels calling at Nigerian ports, requesting that the stakeholders work towards achieving a reversal in favor of Nigeria.
The benefit of all the resources Simon mentioned, the Blue Project, the Solata, and every security apparatus that we have put in place, we have not really technically benefited from it in terms of the lower reduction in war risk premium. It's just not fair that the Gulf of Guinea will be paying the same war risk insurance premium as Somalia. Is a consideration that I really want to put on the table.
Intercargo, the International Association of Dry Cargo Ship Owners, is an association that represents the interest of owners, operators, and managers within the dry cargo shipping industry. The Oil Companies International Marine Forum, OCIMF, is a voluntary association of oil companies with an interest in the shipment and terminal line of crude. The Baltic and International Maritime Council, otherwise known as BIMCO, is a global trade association for ship owners, ship operators, and shipping brokers. Intertanko, the International Association of Independent Tanker Owners, is a trade association that has long served as the voice for independent tank owners. All these chief executives participated in the 2-hour meeting with the NIMASA DG, highlighting Nigeria's importance to the international shipping community.
NIMASA this week, the voice of maritime, showing on these stations.
Director General of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA, Dr. Dayo Muberiola, has reiterated the agency's determination to fight all forms of criminalities on the nation's waterways. He stated this when he played host to the Director, Seaport Operations of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Deputy Commander General Omolade Fagbuyede, at the headquarters of the agency in Lagos.
Any collaboration with any agencies of government that would assist in this way, we are ready to collaborate. So that is the reason why we acknowledge your performance and your responsibility and your role. We on our side will continue to do our best, and if there is any other areas that you want us to work with you in terms of collaboration, we will.
The NIMASA DG was decorated as a partner for war against drug abuse.
This is NIMASA This Week. You are watching NIMASA This Week.
You are watching NIMASA This Week.
You are watching NIMASA This Week.
The voice of maritime in Nigeria.
Keep watching.
Keep watching.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
We are number one.
NIMASA This Week, the voice of maritime, showing on these stations.
The International Maritime Organization, IMO, has achieved key progress in negotiations towards a set of binding global regulations on the IMO Net Zero framework, aimed at achieving the greenhouse gas reduction objectives set out in the 2023 IMO strategy on reduction of greenhouse gas emissions from ships. At the conclusion of the 82nd session of IMO's Marine Environment Protection Committee, held 30th of September to 4th of October 2024, member states had identified further areas of convergence in their positions. They produced a draft legal text to use as a basis for ongoing talks around the proposed mid-term measures for greenhouse gas reduction, which are expected to be adopted in 2025. These proposed mid-term GHG reduction measures include a goal-based marine fuel standard that will phase in the mandatory use of fuels with less GHG intensity and a global maritime GHG emissions pricing mechanism. They are aimed at driving the international shipping industry's transition to achieve net zero GHG emissions by or around year 2050.
Yeah, welcome back on the program. Is still NIMASA This Week. With a series of marine accidents witnessed in recent times, perhaps now is the best time for intellectual discussions on marine accidents. So, the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency NIMASA and the Abuja MOU organized a 3-day workshop on marine accident investigations. Stay tuned.
The Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA, in partnership with the International Maritime Organization and the Abuja MOU, organized a regional workshop on marine accident investigation in West and Central African region. Delegates from 11 countries from the West and Central African region joined their counterparts from Nigeria for the workshop, which took place in Lagos, to discuss best practices, challenges, and advancements in the investigation of marine accidents. The speech of the DG NIMASA was read by the head Marine Accident Investigation, Engineer Taiwo Olaniyan.
The agenda of this workshop is working towards achieving an effective mechanism for marine casualty investigation, towards enhancing national capacities in terms of safety investigations and prevention of the occurrence of similar incidents. I am confident that our shared sense of responsibility amongst all countries will serve us well as we work to safeguard life at sea, help protect the marine environment, and enhance safety and safe operation of ships within the West and Central African region.
The Secretary General Abuja MOU, Captain Sunday Umoren, noted that peer review in the region is now considered an effective tool to strengthen all maritime administrations in the region.
And casualty investigation is not spared, because if you go through the code, the resolution, you see all those kind of words. So casualty investigation is not spared. I will particularly quote one of the lines to be the bedrock of my goodwill message. In quoting the IMO resolution MSC 25584, it says, acknowledging that the investigation and proper analysis of marine casualties and incidents can lead to greater awareness of casualty causation and results in remedial measures, including better training for the purpose of enhancing safety of life at sea.
The main objectives of the workshop included, but not limited to, capacity building, harmonization of procedures, knowledge sharing, and improving safety administration processes and procedures as regards marine accident investigation in the region.
Sure that everyone is refreshed on that area. We want to make sure that challenges are brought forward. We want to make sure that regulation are pointed as well as targeted. We want to ensure that everyone here participating can go back home in their own authorities and reflect on whatever was learned here or exchanged here, and this as well in their own national authorities will support implementation of IMO instrument and therefore fulfill international requirement in that area.
It is expected that we can share experiences with the delegates from different countries in the region, but also that we actually, when we leave, the delegates have more thorough knowledge and what is expected from them to contribute to the world safety of shipping.
Introducing the new face of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA. We are charting the direction for a maritime and regulating the industry for a better, bigger, and more economically stable Nigeria. Evolved to serve you better. We are NIMASA. New face, rejuvenated service. NIMASA, changing the tides in your favor.
Wow, it's been an exciting journey today, and I'm sure you were glad you were part of it. Let me leave you with this safety tip. Always wear a life jacket whenever you are on board any watercraft. And if you see any overloaded craft, please do not board it. Rather, report to the authorities. Let's take a look at this overloaded vessel. A very sad incident indeed. You can see how that avoidable accident happened. Let's support the Nigerian government to eliminate avoidable accident on our waters. Until we meet again on the same platform, same station, my name remains Moyoluwa Olutayo. Bye for now.